Right, we are ready, and I'm a little bit confused. It's called the Italian job, but I'm seeing a British flag. I mean, we are UKSG, but what? Okay, so before I embarrass myself even more by not knowing any films everyone else in this room knows, God damn it, you British people are so weird. Anyways, we're giving it over to the BPG13 with the Italian job.
Yep. Okay, so we're ready on time. And obviously the mic. I won't touch that, I'll let somebody else touch that. Mic's ready.
Timer is ready.
Oh, this is gonna be fun. Okay. Right, I'll go for 3. Oh, I'm so nervous.
You've done this before. You got this.
Yeah, except last time I went a bit too far, so let's just I'll keep it calm. Alright, okay, right. So 3, 2, 1, go. And loading screen 45 seconds. So yeah, this is the Italian job for PlayStation 1. A lot of this run unfortunately will be devised over loading screens because I don't know why. Like I've timed how long a PS1 loading screen is, and it's like 48 seconds. It's a joke. So I think with faster speed, hopefully we should have it cut down by about 15 seconds, or by about 40 seconds. But still. So yeah, there's I think about 18 missions in this game overall. We go through 2 cities, which are London and Turin, and then the last bit is the Alps, which there is 2 missions. Fairly easy to do. The first one, the Ambassador's Car. I have to admit I struggled a lot with this game when I was a kid, and yeah, it's fair to say that during my time playing this game as a kid, obviously, it was very difficult, but after speedrunning it a couple of times and seeing a route, the easiest route is just literally turning right here. So you'll always have that cop sat there. You can easily avoid him if you wish, but chances are you'll just get him on your tail, and obviously the quickest way of doing it would just to get him to chase you either way. But literally the easiest route is just to follow this road all the way down, because right at the bottom on the left hand side is the garage, and that is how you finish the mission. The traffic is a bit RNG in these games, but really don't worry about it. Paul? Yes. That's your answer. So usually you can, there we go. So usually you can actually, as I hit a wall there a little bit. So ideally what I want to be doing is try losing before that, but that is literally the first mission done and dusted. It is very short. The one thing that's different about the PS1 version to the PC version, obviously you've got the graphics, but there's also 2 other things. So the timers on missions are much shorter, or much longer depending on the mission. The placement of the police cars can be different, and also depending on what route you take, some routes can work on the PS1 version but not on the PC version. So you have to align for which version you're playing. It's a bit weird, and I don't think there's any other game that's like that. So you'll notice I literally just press X and spam the X button for most of this. It's just to skip the cutscene that's in at the start of the game, and usually before every mission there's a briefing by Charlie Croker himself, but usually you just skip over that. You don't want to hear him talk, and obviously it'll take loads of time. But this next mission is called Meeting Camp Freddy, and you've literally all you got to do, drive to the train station, pick him up, done. I believe you can skip this little bit of a cutscene though. There we go. There's Charlie running along as he does, gets in his Aston Martin supposedly, which looks nothing like an Aston, but well, PS1 they try the best. So you only get like a minute for this mission, but it's nothing to be too worried about. Now there is different routes you can take, but the route I take is literally to go left through here. If I can, try and squeeze between the bus and the lamppost, which is easy enough. Usually have enough room. Literally just follow the road straight, obviously ducking and diving through traffic, nice and easy. Most of these missions are relatively straightforward. There is 1 or 2 where I have to actually remember the route. The next one in particular is a bit different. I'll explain that as I go, but yeah, for the time being, like I said, you literally head straight down here, turn right, as we do. Pass all traffic. This was actually where the first mission was, so the last one. Instead of going down the road, we're actually going back up it. And then up here on the left is a train station, and that's literally how the mission works. Like I said, a lot of these missions are fairly short, hence the reason why the run is quite short. As we've got some 10 out of 10 voice acting there. But to be honest, with this game, the only way that the record could be beaten, as far as I'm concerned, on the PS1, I'm not intending to make that a goal of mine today at all, because this is a marathon. If we do happen to break said record, or I break my own record, then that happens. But for me personally, the only way that the record can be broken on the PS1 right now is literally to use a PS2 with fast disk speed, which coincidentally I'm doing, and also to just replicate the driving I did from my initial run, which fairly easy. There is a couple of different routes that I've seen on certain missions that people have taken, so rather than go one route, they'll have gone down, like instead of turning right, they'll turn left. Literally, I did like a little bit of last minute practice of this game last night, so it's kind of a bit of a D-Rust run, but I know pretty much most of the missions off by heart. There's only one that I have to remember a route for majorly, because otherwise if I screw that up, that's like a bit of a time loss, but it's nothing to be too worried about. Hence the reason why an hour and 10 is my estimate. Obviously allow mistakes. So at the start of this mission we have a police car chasing us, obviously as you can hear the siren going wee 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 wee. Yeah, they weren't very inventive back in the 1960s. This game, believe it or not, is supposed to be based in the 1960s. So you still got black cabs and stuff travelling about, classic crappy cars, and obviously an Aston Martin DB5, or what's supposed to be a DB5. So the route that I'm taking right now is the easiest one and most convenient, because after a bit, and should about around now, should lose the cop. There we go. So the reason why, rather than travel straight, I would do like a more direct route to the destination, but travelling around the church on the right hand side actually allows, as there's a stupid cabin away, move it, as there's a police car on the left hand side of the church, so by going on the right hand side you basically skip him, and that is pretty much it. Like I said, it's just A to B, and that's it. That is most of these missions. You'll notice like going, oh, just going from there to there. Really easy. For those that haven't seen the film, this scene in particular is kind of funny, because the guy who we've just driven to his house, he likes big women. You know, I like big butts and I cannot lie. And one of his quotes in the film is the one that you guys just heard, which is where he goes, "I like 'em big, and that's why he's got two big women in his car. So yeah, he's quite he likes his big women, fair to say. But yeah, one thing that always comes to mind with like big women, I always think of, I like big butts and I cannot lie. That's the first thing that comes to mind. Sorry, it just is. So unfortunately, I'll quickly mention this straight away, is that you'll notice at the top on the loading screens there is black bars. So rather than the whole space be covered out by the capture card, you've got just the black bars. Unfortunately, fair to say, this is just something that's in the game. You can't really solve it. It's pretty rubbish. This is the PAL version that I'm running, by the way. The NTSC version, so the North American version, I guess, that runs at 30 FPS and runs a lot more smoother. You'll notice we have frame rate drops, but that's because of I won't say the limited hardware, but because we're running this on a PS2 with fast disk speed, it's literally just how the game is made to run at 25 FPS. So like I said, there are specific routes to take during these missions, and the one that I took, like I said, you go left and you take that route, go up the hill, go right and then left. As you get down to the bottom, make a left turn, another right, and then down here we have a little section where there's a cutscene that you can't skip. So this is the lad who's picking the car up. Now unfortunately there is something that can go wrong with this mission. It's never happened to me in a speed run, but it can go wrong. So if you don't steal that car or you don't get there in time, what happens is the train doesn't actually make it there, and it ends up going to King's Cross, which causes you to lose a lot more time. Unfortunately, when I was younger, obviously I was pretty bad at this game, fair to say, but when you're young you tend to be bad at games, I suppose. It's in everyone's DNA. But obviously, when you get older, you learn the game more and stuff like that. If you're like me and you're playing an old game 20 years on, fair play to you. I mean, I think I'm not the only one in this room, I think, right now who's played a game that might have been 20 years old and still plays it even now, just because they had childhood memories and stuff. I mean, my most memorable one is the runs that I did last time, so the Colin McRae Rally series. I won't go into that too much, but those were the ones that I did last time. Fair to say, that was an experience nobody will forget. But those games are the ones that I played when I was younger. Yeah. If you've not watched it, go back and watch it from last year. You'll love it, trust me. But yeah, so like I said, out of everything that is in this game, in particular, it's not that bad. It's relatively straightforward, all the missions. But like I said, Call of Duty Rally was one of the games that I played as a child, and this one was probably the next up on that list. So funnily enough, even though I'm a racing kind of guy, Need for Speed and Gran Turismo, I didn't play any of those till maybe the mid-2000s when they're on the PlayStation 2. But for the most part, obviously, I was playing games like Driver, this one, Call of Duty Rally, can I name others? V-Rally. A lot of things that have Rally in the title I played. So, with this mission, Skillful Build, the main objective is to ram Charlie until his damage fills up. So his damage is on the right, the green bar, as obviously on the left. You can actually get it quite early, but for the sake of this run, I don't know how early I'm going to be able to get him. So you can cause damage to him, but obviously my driving's pretty scruffy today, as I keep hitting walls. Unfortunately, the cars are a bit weird to drive, I will mention that. But you can actually cause like a glitch to happen for his car, which is if you steer in as he's turning, he takes a wide line, and for some weird reason, there's a set few frames where he just completely stops. So you'll notice how his car jolts around. If you get lucky and turn in the inside quite early, you can actually get more damage on him, so you can actually cause him to his damage bar to fill up faster. Now, like I said, in the world record run, I got it pretty early. Now, I think it was about around here when I near enough managed to fill his bar up. He slows down quite a bit around here, so you can literally ram him till, well, hell and back, shall I say. There's also another good point where ideally I want to try and be getting him before, which is about where this bridge is. He'll probably go over the bridge, which he does, easy enough. But like I said, the filling damage bar is a weird damage system, to say the least. There we go, we got him, nice and easy. But like I said, the best record. Also, it lets you just freely drive about. So if you want to just go, right, I'm off, see you later, Charlie, you can just go off. Let him drive off, yeah. See you later, Charlie. Doesn't exist. You don't. The mission doesn't even care. It doesn't stop you from doing anything. You can't do anything in that mission, to say the least, which is bad. But other than obviously ramming Charlie. So I think the next one is Prison Pals. This causes me a bit of a headache sometimes because of the police and how long it takes for, oh, what's he called? Dominic, I think it is, who you have to pick up. It takes a while for him to get in the car, so what happens is you go in, basically at the start, I'll just explain it real quick whilst it's loading. So we've basically got to break one of our drivers out of jail. He's been put in Her Majesty's prison, we've got to break him out. You bust through the first door and then you have to wait till he gets in. Now I did a tactic recently on the PS1 version, on this version actually, on my PSP last night, which was I got exceedingly close to the door and stopped, and I found that it was a lot quicker, which I've not been able to pull off. Because what happened last night was he got in quite quick. So you bust in one door, bust out of another. There are police travelling about. We'll get one on us now, as we do. There he is. So there was also something else I tested last night, which is usually there's a cutscene that plays, where when you hit the barriers for the police cars, what happens is it goes into like some Matrix style slow motion, so like where the camera view is like whoa sort of thing. But by literally just hitting that police car out of the way, again I only found this out last night myself, you can actually just stop that cutscene from playing, so that saves you about what 5 or 10 seconds if that. But yeah, it's easy enough. So like I said, the route I take, as I just squeeze past that boss, the route I take I think is the fastest one. And also it avoids any further contact with the police. There's a lot of routes that you can take in this game for different missions, but obviously the ones that I take are, for me, the cop-free, so you can't get police on you, and also you have to remember the fact that you want to finish in a quick amount of time. So ideally you want to look for the quickest route, and for me this I found to be the quickest, because like I said, there's no police cars, you don't run into anybody or anything like that. You might have to just deal with traffic. And just for good measure, can I get a wheelie going into here? Not quite. I got airtime, that's good enough. And a good bash at the back of the garage just to signify I finished the mission. Nice and easy. So a lot of the missions, they always use the United Kingdom anthem, or imitation of an anthem. There isn't really much use of the actual Italian Job theme that was written for the film. Believe it or not, there was 2 games for the Italian Job. So a lot of people might have played the other one for the PlayStation 2 and the Xbox. I think it's PS2, GameCube and Xbox. And that one was called The Italian Job LA Heist. That was based off the 2003 film. Believe it or not, this game came out, obviously it came out on the PlayStation 1 and the PC. However, it came out quite late, I feel, into the PlayStation 1's life cycle, because this released in 2001. Which, by that point, the PS2 was practically in development, I think, being sold. So, it was quite late, and obviously not a lot of people picked up on it. But out of the Italian Job games that there is, this one is definitely the better one, despite the crappier graphics and everything. Again, it's a PS1 game. The PC version, I believe, runs at 60 FPS, which is much nicer to play. And loading times are not practically instant, but they're quick enough, I'd say. But yeah, this one is, like I said, keeping it up. This is the 7th mission in London and second to last one. The idea of this one is literally to follow Dave, but there's a few little tricks that we've got up our sleeves to make him move faster. So primarily you're just driving around the streets following him for 2 minutes. Seems easy enough. However, if I cut through here, or not, I hit a fence. This is where I get a mission failed now, I'm not too bothered. If I do, because I can redo it. Probably will. No? Okay, I didn't get a mission fail. No, I got a mission fail. I jinxed that. I was like, I didn't get a mission fail. Yes, I did. Okay, so Dave is the guy we were following there. I actually messed up my bloody shortcut. Never mind. Anyway, what I was saying was, you can make him move faster. So, primarily, the main first cut is to cut behind the fence and cut inwards against the bit between the building and, I believe, it's the tree. So what happens is you cut between that, and what it causes him to do is he jumps. So for some weird reason he just picks up about 500 mile an hour and just flies around the corner, God knows how fast, whilst keeping on the road, because that's legal in London, right? So yeah, that's one of the glitches that you can do. And then later on down the line he goes all the way around the church, whereas you just go straight past it, and again he does the same glitch. Essentially all it does is it just makes the mission faster. And in speedrun, obviously, you want to make sure you've got fastest tactics, as I try and do this without crashing the car. I can do this flat out, but for today's purpose, I'm not going to drive like an idiot. So, there we go. Problem is, you have to dip down here to the left, because if you, as I found out, again, when I was playing it a lot when I was a kid, if you drop down literally just straight down and didn't even bother stopping or turning, you literally run into those cars, and again, you got a game over. There's also another little one which I've not mentioned. So before the whole church one, there's a small shortcut. I don't think it saves that much, maybe half a second if that. So on this next right hand turn, if we cut through here, it only speeds things up a slight tad. Not too much, nothing too big. Doesn't really speed it up. Going over this bridge is always a pain, just because of the physics of this game. So luckily that went nice, really smooth. Not great, but smooth. I've had better, that's for sure. So we make a right turn here. There's also a left turn you can cut in as well. I believe there's a tree. Yeah, I missed that tree, thank God. So he'll go through the park, and instead of following him, if you go to the right hand side, hopefully I don't get a game over, because I think that's happened once before. There we go. He'll pop out here, and on this one, rather than following him all the way around, this is the cut church one, so he'll go all the way around to the right hand side. And we just go, right, keep up, mate. And all of a sudden, there he is. He just pops out of nowhere, 500 miles an hour. Because, again, that's legal in London, isn't it? Some Jaguar doing 500 miles an The last thing, which I believe, I don't think it goes any differently. It's always the same traffic, so you can usually cut between that black cat and the bus. And then right at the end, the game really likes to confuse you, so you literally just keep your foot flat through there and try and keep as tight as you can. And that's the mission done. Now, like I said, for me when I was playing that, for a lot of new players of the game, if they've ever played it before or they've only played it once before, you will struggle with that mission, I will not lie. Because the number of times I had to reset because I lost Dave and all that, it is as hard as it looks, believe me. It's very, very difficult. The last mission in London, and that's, I think, how far are we up to? Nearly 20 minutes, not too bad. On pace so far. Nice. The last mission in London, which is this one, is called Big William's Ride. And Big William is, to say the least, he's not a character you remember much in the film because he drives the coach and you only see him, I think, twice throughout the film. So the fact he's got his own mission, he's got more time, face time in this game than he has in the film, I'd say, overall. But yeah, it's, like I said, he drives a big coach, and unfortunately somebody decided to rig his bus with explosive. I don't know whose bright idea that was, but basically your job is to get to the destination without blowing up the bus. So immediately to start things off, he gives you a scare by crashing deliberately into a wall, and this always happens, no matter what. So even though the cutscene started not that long ago, but you can actually drive whilst the cutscene is playing, and I believe there's a route that you can take through here, which is, as somebody found out the other day, you can actually pop through here. Is it cab? He can just tip over because I don't like him. Well, why not? It's like, move, get out the way, get out the way. I'm in a coach. And the one thing that annoys me a lot about this mission is just Big William, because he just goes, oh boy. So you'll say that quite a bit, unfortunately. The more you crash, the more you'll say, oh boy, I think. Now, threading in and out of traffic, it's a pretty risky strat, this one. And also, because of the draw distance of PS1, it's pretty hard. For me, right now, it's pretty hard to get it right. So, if I go to the left, I think it is, to the right of this taxi, and then back in left again. There we go. So you'll notice I picked up a lot of speed, and I want to try and preserve that as much as possible, as the frame rate decides to release. And we do a jump, because coaches can do airtime, just like cars can, and bikes. And most of the time for this last bit as well, it's very difficult because you don't want to crash at this speed. Because if you do, that bar that's on the left hand side of the explosive will go fully into the red and you'll get an immediate game over. Now, I believe you can, I could have done that a lot faster, but obviously I'm playing it safe, I don't want to blow it up. As, I think it's Arthur he calls him? Yeah. Says, she's gonna blow Arthur. So that's Arthur apparently, but that's the only time you see Arthur in this game. So, say goodbye to London, because it's Turin next. Which, fair to say, has a lot more harder missions. I think there's about 8 missions in Turin, or maybe 9, I can't quite remember. But we've also got the Alps as well, and the Alps are literally 2 missions. So the first one is Torino Tours, I think. Yep, it is. Again, skip to the first bit of that. There we go. The second mission, thankfully, in Turin, fairly easy. It's literally, you drive, I think she's called Lorna, you drive to the airport, you get the mafia on you, and you have to escape. I'll show you the quickest route, obviously, because that's the route I'm going to take. And it's not too risky or anything like that. It's fairly easy to do, I'd say. And I think it's the way the game is designed. It wants you to take that route without even saying you've got to take that route. It just wants you to anyway. The only problem is just bumps and stuff like that. But yeah, Torino Tours, I think it consists of 5 locations that you have to visit. And we get this little minivan with United Kingdom flags written all over, which I think is adequate for this marathon, wouldn't you say? So we've got the UK flag. We don't have one in real life, unfortunately, so we've got one in the game, which is nice. We've still got a UK flag with this marathon, that's good. So the first one, as we go into oncoming traffic immediately, is the Traffic Control HQ, which is up here on our right. It's actually this building right here, with the fencing behind it. Now, to give a bit of backstory, for no one that's watched the Italian Job, they don't do any of this. The main mission, I think, is Traffic Tape Caper. That's the main one. So the next location, I think, is the river, or the way, I think they call it, the way. Something like that, I'm not quite sure. Let me just see. There's also a visit to the town hall as well. A couple of others. I can't really think of anything else off the top of my head, actually. Whew. Give me voice a rest for a few minutes. Yeah, we'll just head down the street, nice and easy. Follow the arrow, as you do. Weaving in and out of traffic. Ooh, blimey. So if I take a right turn here, jump over that. Don't usually do that, but still. We cut across the railway tracks, I think. Yeah, tram tracks, not railway, sorry. Tram tracks, because there's trams in Turin apparently. I've never been to Turin, so I wouldn't know. Thread through there, just get through that bit. Nice and easy. This is the second stop. We've got the next one, which I believe is the Piazza, or as I call it, the Plaza, because I read the I as a L for some reason. So it's like I can't speak, Plaza, I don't know. It's actually Piazza, but for some odd reason, all my life I've read it as Plaza, or Plaza, I don't know. It's a British thing, I suppose, or either that or it's a Mancunian thing, I don't know. Reading things the wrong way. Oh dear. So I think we'll have the next stop, like I said, the next stop is a Piazza, but unfortunately it's not as easy as it seems, because when we get there, surprise, surprise, the Mafia are onto us. And they've got, let's just say, really quick sports cars. Thankfully, there is a nice little route we can take, if I remember where I'm going. I think it's this way. I think I know where I'm going on this, I probably will be wrong, but we'll find out. So if I go this way, I believe it's the first left turn actually, ironically. First left turn here, and then another left turn just down here. Yep. And we should be able to lose the Mafia nice and easy. Now I took a longer route, as in to go all the way around the houses, so to speak. But that makes things a lot easier, and ideally what we want to be doing here is to turn the car around as much as possible, because we are actually going back in the opposite direction. So that's the Piazza. Like I said, we only find this stuff out now. We don't really see it much in the game. We don't even go near the Piazza, I don't think. So traffic's a bit RNG on this part, unfortunately, but it's no biggie if we do crash into a couple of cars, because, well, they're in the wrong gear, not us. Because don't forget, we drive on the right side of the road and they drive on the wrong side, so they're all on the wrong. Next up is the Turin police station, which obviously, as Charlie just said, one place we should avoid during our stay in Turin. I would say, I always wondered what polizia meant, but obviously it's just police in Italian, so it's not too bad. Thankfully that's one word I can actually understand in Italian, other than mamma mia. Or it's a me, Mario, unfortunately, so those are the only like Italian words I know. Yeah, learning Italian with BPG. I suppose this game's taught me more about Italian stuff than anything else. It's like, you don't need a dictionary, no, just play the Italian job or watch the film. You'll learn plenty of Italian. By means of just Piazza, Polizia, I think it is. And then if you just go to the Mario franchise, you get Mamma Mia and It's a Me, Mario. There you go. Yep, pretty much. That works. So this is the next part where we stop off. It's right down at the end. We will be coming back here, obviously, in the mission traffic tape caper, which is a couple of missions down. So this is actually, I think if I can speed it up by pressing X. Yep. That's actually, we don't get that close to it. Instead, we throw a bike down there, and believe me, you'll get to see some of the best bike throwing mechanics ever seen in a video game when that comes around, because it's like so pixelated you can't even see what he's throwing. As we fall off that, that's not good. Oh well, I can revert. I can try that again. That actually looked for a minute like I was trying to do initial D with a bloody, what's it call it? I forgot what they call these. People carrier? Is that right? I don't know. As we go up here. Please tell me this goes up here. I guess it doesn't. Okay. I'm trying a new strat here. I don't think that works. Okay. Right, as my car just wants to fly backwards. Alright, so that route doesn't work. Oh, no. Sorry. I took the wrong route on that one. Actually, now I come think of it. I was supposed to be taking that with the Land Rover, which we used before. That's the route I need to be taking. I don't know why I thought it was a good idea to use this. It's too slow. As I found out. Never mind. But yeah, we've got plenty of time for this mission, so it won't be too bad if we mess anything up on this one. There is a couple of positions where the police actually sit. You can encounter police on the way back from this, but 9 times out of 10 you probably won't run into them, so it's not too bad. I believe we're nearly there. I think we've got maybe another 20 seconds or so. Let's turn right down here, I think. Move it! Wrong side of the road. Yeah, so that in front of us actually is the mansion, so yeah, we're here, pretty much. I think that's... what's that mission now? So that's the first mission. You'll find that the missions in Turin are a lot longer, so... For the most part, London's missions are fairly... You know, they're fairly short. The longest one in the game, I think, is called... Oh, what's it called? The Getaway. Which is literally where they've heisted the gold and they have to get away from the police and go through Turin, which is full of traffic. That's a really hard mission to get right, so if I do mess that up, that is quite a bit of a time loss, but that depends how far I get into the mission. If I only get about half a minute in, the further I get in, the more time loss it's going to be. So I kind of need to nail that first try. So Mafia May, this is the second one, and it's about 2 minutes to finish this. It's not too bad. Most part, like I said, most of this run will be loading screens, unfortunately. There's probably like 3 or 4 minutes of loading screens. So, but yeah, I'm not supposed. Is there any messages for anybody? Paul?
We have greetings from Germany.
Woo! Somebody, I think somebody remembered me from last time.
Yeah.
Apart from India, of course. Yeah, please. If you please. I don't mind. So we've got greetings. Any other greetings or anything like that? Ah, right. Yeah. Okay. I'll let you attend that business first. That's a new message. We got a sandwich in the house. Okay, so for this one, usually I go straight on and take like a load of steps and stuff like that, which unfortunately is a bit off-putting. But thankfully, there's literally a lot straighter route, which is you literally go left, follow the tram lines, and if I can get in front of the tram, there we go. That's more Italian job for you. Try to squeeze in front of a tram. The funny thing is, I always think for this game where she's always like, "Look at all the stuff I found in there." I always think Charlie Croker should reply with something like, "You're an idiot, woman. You shop too much," or something like that. Just a response from Charlie Croker would have been a lot better, but again, this game was made in 2001, so it's about 16, 17 years too late. But oh well. I would make my own game, but I don't know how, so yeah. I'll let the developers keep on doing what they do. As we've got literally, I think I can fit through this gap? Yes, I can. That's something I've never done before, so that was the first try. So yeah, Lorna goes off, she gets on a plane, and this is where the next part comes into the Mafia. As unfortunately little turtles fell down. He's actually... Stay up. There you go. Good. Stay up.
PSG board.
He's falling asleep here, he's doing an indie.
PSG board.
Yep. There'll probably be a load of emotes in chat or something. Is there, do you say there's an emote for BSG? I think there is.
Yes, the channel is partnered, so they have a set of emotes.
Nice. Okay, so this is the Mafia chase, and they are insanely quick. They literally just shoot at you like rockets, and we just dodge them. So this is the route that the game, I think, wants you to take. Now, that went surprisingly well. Usually I say surprisingly, then this has like a bit of a glitch where it just goes like that. But regarding this, like I said, you can just literally follow this route all the way down. And what happened? I guess what's going on. And what happens is obviously you can just lose the Mafia by literally following the dirt road. Like I said, I'm pretty sure the game is designed and telling you should take this route, even though it doesn't signify take this dirt route. But no, apparently it does. The one thing that's really bad about this game is there's no map feature, so you can't actually tell where you're going. So it's like literally off the top of my head. Again, I've not played this for a bit, so it's a bit of a D-rust run. So don't expect anything electrifying from me. But if the run goes well enough, I'll be happy. Yeah, that's the, what was it called? Mafia Mania mission done. I think the next one is either Interference or Traffic Takeover. Interference, I think it is the next one. So that one involves us taking down 20 cameras, I believe, and there's a specific route that somebody used in one of their runs. It is Traffic Takeover, my apologies. So this one's based at night. I'll quickly shift over, I'll talk about Interference later on, but Traffic Takeover, this is the one I mentioned. So this is based at night. There's police all over the place, and there are really difficult routes to follow. Now, for me doing them, I know where I'm going, so it's not too bad. But for somebody who's never played this game, they might find, even with a 7-minute time limit, I think it is, they might find it hard to go from dropping off from the lads to pick a bike up, to destroying an electric pylon thing, transformer, I don't know what they call it, transformer. Then going back to pick the lads up, and then going from there to the mansion. I think there's 7 minutes to do that. Oh, this is proper slow. Also, I can't see where I'm going. I can just. Right, so the game keeps tells you always to go that way. It's no biggie. Thankfully the cars have got lights on so I can just about see them. So there is, like I said, specific routes that I take. And obviously for this one I'm going to play it safe. I'm not going to use like risky strats or any of that. So on my right, what I'm ideally looking for, it's quite difficult. Actually, I use the preview one. So if I go right, there you go. I'm looking at the other one at this point rather than the actual screen, because I can actually see what I'm doing. I think if I follow this down straight, ooh, that ain't a car, that's fine. So I think if I remember right, I follow this straight down, as we take out 2 innocent Fiat 500s, because they're only a little car and deserve to be smashed out of the way. I don't even know why people buy those cars, if I'm honest. I'm not a fan of them at all. I don't want people like starting on me though. I'm like, oh, I have a Fiat 500, please don't kill me. I just don't like them. The bubble cars. Okay, right. So this, like I said, you follow that route all the way down, and then eventually you get to this, which is a little bike. I don't know how many pixels that is actually. Probably about 50 or 20. They don't even have spinning tyres. It's just an outline of a bike. So the bike disappears into thin air, so that's a thing. You don't even see him put it in the back of the... It literally just disappears. And now we go to the power station. Also, I can't help but notice, I think the bottom of the screen might be cut off for the PS1. I think. It looks like it on my screen. Ah well. It's not too important anyway, there's not a lot to see. It's fine. So like I said, the route that I'm taking is pretty much the one that I always take. Obviously the less damage and less crashes and all that stuff you take, the better. You'll notice that I keep looking between 2 screens, that's just because I can see better on one than the other. But I'll be using the one that's in front of me for the most part. So on this part in particular, so we've got the bike, we've got to go to the power station, thankfully I know where it is. And like I said, I find this route to be the safest and the quickest. You don't encounter any police or anything like that. We're going to have a cutscene which unfortunately we can't skip. So if we go right here, I think it is. There we go, right here. And then there. And then this is a cutscene that's out of my hands. I can't skip this. So obviously that bike that disappeared into thin air, it reappears out of thin air. Just like magic. And obviously walking animations from 2001, because why not? But yeah, this is like the best at throwing animation I've ever seen. 10 out of 10 would watch again, probably. Are we ready? Here it comes. Best throwing mechanics, best throwing physics you've ever seen. Ready? Wow! Oh my god! That's better than today's stuff. Wow! Oh my god. I was just waiting for that. Okay, so now when we get back to the van, it'll say, there you go, pick up the lads. Now if I bash this around here a second, there'll be 2 police cars right there. One, wait for the second one, right, that's the second one, go, 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 go. Right, so usually what you can do there is if you wish, you can actually go, this is the bit that I meant to do before, without falling off. Oh, I still try to fall off. And the game glitched. Go on, fall down, fall down. Fall down, please. Hopefully the police aren't behind me. That's fine. Right, so as I was saying, as the game decides to still keep glitching me into the ramp. Thanks for this game. There we go. That's so apparently a 4x4 Land Rover can do that. Anyway, as I was saying, for this mission, like I said, we've got the traffic control HQ. We've like destroyed it and everything. But the reason for why I wait for those 2 police cars to stay as wait for them to pass is because if this car is not fast enough in any way to go escape from police. So as I'll try and prove, I'll try and get away from one. This is the new route that somebody found the other day. I can't quite remember who it was, but somebody, I think it was somebody who's ran the PC version, has used this route and found it to be a lot faster. So thankfully, if we dodge through said traffic, the cop will keep crashing because he's a dumbass. He'll keep crashing, and eventually you'll lose him. Thankfully, he's not like I said, it's not a problem, so we can just literally just keep on driving. And it's pretty much a straight line, so not too bad. Have we got any new messages, by the way? Oh, any messages for anybody? Just to ask. I don't mind taking any messages. There we go. So you lose the police really easily. I think that's the only cop you encounter. Yeah, it is. So if you turn right out of here, like that. Whoa! There we go. I was too busy like thinking, what the hell's going on? So you turn right out there, you come left, and there's the traffic control HQ. That's to pick the lads up in their glorious 3D pixelation from 2001. Should have been made in 1996, it would have been better. Actually, when was the PS1 released? That's a good question. This game could have released in 96 and 97 and still look good, I think. 2001 was a bit, like I said, it was late for the PS1's life cycle, I think. I don't think in 2001 there was that many games being made for a PS1, because like most of the attention for Sony was on the PS2. So obviously that was their newest console, as we smash another innocent Fiat 500. That's the 3rd one. Actually, I don't know, I've not been keeping track. I could have smashed about 10. Still. It should just have like a little counter in the corner, Fiat 500's hit. And I just keep ticking over and see how many I can hit in a run. That'll be pretty funny. But yeah, like I said, for the majority of this game, it's relatively straightforward. Like I said, I've played this game a lot when I was a kid, and I've got quite good over it over the years. Speedrunning this was a bit interesting though, because I think when I first picked it up and tried to speedrun it, I think my first time was like a 1:28 or something like that. 1 hour 28 minutes, I think it was. I can't remember how many seconds it was. Something like that. And I had a lot of crashes, a lot of hiccups and stuff like that. Didn't know any routes or anything for any of the missions. And now the record sits at under an hour by me. So, yeah, it's pretty interesting. You have to really nail the missions, I think. But like I said, there is definitely room for improvement, and the major time save for this game comes from a PS2 with fast disk speed. So yeah, if I could rack up the same run that I did on the world record run, use new strats and new routes and stuff like that, I could easily rack up another record. But I don't want to. I'm not going for it because I can't. I don't have anything to capture a PS2. So yeah, but that might happen soon. You never know. Another loading screen. Another loading screen. No! No! They both died. No! The mic pillow. Not the mic pillow. No! The Robotron one. Aww. Also, just for the sake of it, there you go. I am now Mike. You will now obey me. I'm only good. That's good though. As he doesn't want to stay straight. God damn it, Mike! Your face doesn't. Mike, your face doesn't want to stay straight. There we go. Wow. It works. Nice. That's a good name for that. You should write it down. Old Nutmog and the Shifty Twins. That's a good name for a band. You should write that down. I will. What are the... Oh, the pillow. Okay. You want to throw it over? There you go. Just so everyone's aware, that's not on their screen. People are going, what the hell's going on with the stream? Don't worry, it's nothing to do with the stream. The stream's fine. It's actually part of the mission. First time I played it, I was like, what's going on? I kept bashing my TV. It's like, what the hell's going on here? What's going on? But it's the game, so... Yeah, I've heard of games doing clever little third-party tricks. Sorry, not third-party tricks. What do they call it? Fourth wall breaks, is it? So I think there's some Batman game that does something like that. One of the Metal Gear Solids does one or something. Yeah. This kinda does the same, but it doesn't have the same effect, unfortunately. Because it stays on for that long. You're like, oh my god. I've actually had it, believe it or not, when I used to run this game on the PS1. There was one time I was doing this mission, and what ended up happening was it got stuck doing that. And I actually was like, what's happened? What's going on? I thought the devil was trying to talk to me. Because it was one of them sort of creepy things. It kind of reminded me of... I don't know if anyone here's played Sonic.exe, but Jesus, that's the stuff in nightmares. Well, it is if you're a Sonic fan. Also, hey, another Fit 500 hit. Woo! If this was a donation marathon, then I'd donate $1 or £1 for every time I hit one. You would be racking in the money. You'd be doing all... I can't do it with my hand, but, you know. The cha-ching stuff, whatever it is. So there's actually this one over here hidden away in the corner. Like I said, there's loads scattered around the map. But in best interest and to go the quickest route, this is the route that we end up taking. So we're up to 8 already and we're literally like a minute in. But this is where it starts to slow down a little bit. So I think we can go out of here to right. Yep, so if I turn right into here, I think it is here. Yep, like that. There's actually 3 in here. So this is the first one. There's one to the right and then one literally straight on. So the arrow in a minute you'll see, which is now, that tells you it's over there. We go, nah mate, there's actually one down here you missed. And then it goes, oh yeah, there is. Just because it can. Also, I like the fact that nobody in Turing's camera control is actually keeping an eye on the fact that, oh, maybe, oh that's funny, one of our cameras has gone off. Oh look, there's another one that's gone. Nobody seems to care at this point. Up until the getaway happens, then everybody gets involved. It's like they've only just discovered fire for the first time. It's like, wait, there's 3 minis with a load of gold in it? Great, quick, get on it. But they all forget, they don't even realise all the cameras are turned off, so they can't see what's going on. Yeah, yeah, they've timed it so that when they're on lunch break, oh, they're off getting a Greg's. Sack it, let's do it. Wait, was Greg's a thing in 1998? Like, wait, this is based off the 1969 film, so 1969. Was Greg's even around back then? Oh boy, here we go. Here he is with the facts. 1969. I don't think it was. Did it not come around? I'm pretty sure it didn't come around to like 1980s or something. But yeah, I think... Oh, so they could have gone for a Greg's at dinner then. It's possible in 1969, a load of traffic control guys decided, hey, why don't we go on this lunch break? Sack it, where are we going? Greg's! In 1969, so that'd be like, Greg's! They'll be having the top hats and all that, they'll be drinking plenty of tea. Yeah, that's the one. Jolly good show, old chap. Which, believe it or not, ironically in this game, one of the things that you heard, I don't know if you guys heard before, but one of the things that he said before was just like, oh, jolly good show, Charlie. So you can tell they're from 1969, they just speak that posh. So, yeah, 16 down, 4 to go. Make that 3 to go. Because we've got literally 3 to go. So after you get all 20 cameras, I've not even mentioned that, you probably think, hey, the mission ends, right? Not quite. You've got to drive down an alleyway and then it's finished. Why the alleyway, I don't understand, because you don't start the next mission from there. You never see what happens, or it never states why you go through. That was really well timed, actually, with the car and everything. So yeah, although what was it? It wasn't a Fit 500 though. So downside. If it was a Fit 500, it'd be like yes. Also, that could actually be a marathon one. A marathon, what we call it, message. Kill the Fit 500, save the frames. That works. I guess. I don't know. I'm nearly done. One more. Nice one. Yeah, so the guy who voiced Charlie Croker in this game is not Michael Caine, unfortunately. Which I really thought should have been a thing. They should have had Michael Caine to voice Charlie Croker, because he's the guy who plays Charlie Croker. There we go. So yeah, Michael Caine was the guy, in case nobody's seen the Italian Job. Michael Caine plays Charlie Croker, and he does a really good job of playing Charlie Croker. I think there's one part in the film, if I remember rightly, because that's the mission done. There's one part in the film where he's on about getting money for this new Aston that he's been saving up for after he comes out of prison. And the one thing he says is like, so he goes, oh, how do you get a load of money? He's like, oh, I shoot tigers in Africa, and that's how I get my money. He's like, oh, you shoot tigers? He goes, yes, I used a machine gun. So he basically murdered loads to get loads of money. So, but the one person that's missing out of the game, I don't understand why he's missing, is Mr. Bridger. He's the main mastermind behind the whole film, but you only see him, I think, for about 10 minutes in the entire film. And Camp Freddy, the guy who, again, you've only seen briefly, he was right at the start of the run. He and, funny thing is, him and Mr. Bridger have a conversation during the film. Now, back then, you know, what sexuality you were or whatever didn't really matter. None of that came like what we've got in today's society. So, Camp Freddy basically turns around and says, maybe the professor's not bent. At which point, Mr. Bridger replies, Camp Freddy, everybody in the world is bent. So, but yeah, it's just something that's there. It's definitely funny. Half of the guys that he names as well is like, these are all the people you're going to know for the job. It's like Roger, Arthur, Coco. And I'm like, there's a guy called Coco? Who calls their son Coco? I mean, apart from maybe a bandicoot, obviously. Sorry. I couldn't think of any other way of using that. Although she is a female. But how do we know? She might be a male in disguise. But why would she be? I don't know. I don't even know why I'm asking myself these questions, because we all know she's a female. Or do we? No, we do. No, like I said, I don't understand. Like, half the characters in the film, you barely see them other than this table where they're all sat at, and he's introducing, like, right, okay, this is the plan. These are all the lads that are going to doing the job. After that, they all bugger off. You never see them again. The only time you see them, I think, is when during the mini chase, as the police didn't have no idea we just snuck past him like that. So this is a bit difficult because you have all traffic in your way, so it's not too bad. But when he's talking about, like, I think when they're having a big like Mini Cooper chase near the end of the film, one of the things he's saying is like hurry up, Dominic. They always just saying like, hurry up, move it, come on, shift. The best thing is as well, my favourite quote out of the entire film, by far, and I think a lot of people might agree if they've seen it or not, is when they're all sat in. This is at this point in the film, they do that. They wait for the convoy to join in, and the major thing that happens is they're all sat in that white minivan thing that you saw before with the Union Jack flags on. They're all sat in that and getting away, whilst the other lads get away in the Mini Coopers with all the gold. And he just turns round and he's like, well, look happy then, you stupid bastards. We won, didn't we? And by that day, it's Italy versus England that are playing in the World Cup. So, but it's dead funny. Just there's one bit where he's just going, well, look happy then, you stupid bastards. It's funny. It's the only time I mention that line again, don't worry. But for me, it's one of my favourite quotes. Aside from, you're only supposed to blow the bloody doors off, so, which is always funny. Oh dear. Yeah, there's a lot of funny moments in the film. Unfortunately, not a lot of these are in the game. Just to mention as well, this mission that we've got coming up now, I believe is the one that lasts 6 minutes. So this is the getaway, if I remember rightly. Yes. Right, so I might need to concentrate for this. Because if I screw this up, it's a big time loss. I don't want that. So the idea is to follow the minis. Obviously, the three of you have to go in a convoy. They actually go across through the arch. I usually just go around it. I used to go through it, but then just found out you don't really need to bother with that if you don't want to, which is nice. So you will have police chasing you through about, I'd say 90% of this. Unfortunately, which is a bit of a pain. Also, if we just venture out of there, go across here. Remember that 500-mile-an-hour trick? Guess who else can do it? Yep, the Mini Coopers. Literally, you're like, oh my god, I'm pulling so far ahead, and the game's like, nope. Rubber band. As this can be a bit tricky. The steering in this game is very difficult. I mean, the cars feel very heavy, but to turn from one side to another, it's not very good. So you'll notice I use a lot of my brakes. And I just scrape through that doorway. Also, the last mission usually takes a long time to do, but thankfully, I think we'll still be able to get underestimate easy. Because there's a few shortcuts you can take just to make the mission much shorter. Also, I've noticed we're at 55 minutes already, as it plays a little cutscene, yay! Yeah, I think this run should finish underestimate easy. What, was there a PS1 demo of this? Oh my god. They couldn't have put a harder mission. They couldn't have put a harder mission on the demo disc. Because this is like the hardest mission in the game. And it was like, oh, I know, what game should we put on Saki? We'll put the hardest one on, see if they finish it. If they can, they'll buy the rest of the game. Make money. I remember I think this game, when it came out, if I remember rightly, PS1 games were pretty cheap compared to today's standards. Like, if I remember rightly, a new PS1 game, sorry, was... I bought a new PS1 game, I think, in like 2002, and it was £20, which back then I thought was expensive. Nowadays, I think that's pretty cheap. A new PS2 game, I think, was about £30, and now, since then, it was like, it's gone up by £10, I think, for every console. Pretty soon, games are going to cost 150 quid, which is ridiculous. Also, you wouldn't. It's no surprise this game doesn't go for a lot on eBay. So you could literally pick the. I think I picked the PC version up for about 68p off Amazon. It's proper cheap. But then, considering the game can be finished in less than an hour, or an hour, well, an hour and a bit, it's no surprise. Also, put your foot down because the police are chasing us. That was convenient actually hitting that the car. So I think the police cars hit it and slowed him down a little bit. So yeah, you're going too fast. One thing I remember, one miner was playing Call McRae Rally the other day, and the one thing he kept saying to me was, "You're going too fast." I was like, "Me? Never." Also, whee, bang. And the car survived that. If a Mini Cooper did that nowadays, even an old one, oh yeah, just jump off that, it's a 500-foot dive. That car would have crumpled and the people inside would be dead. This is the 1960s, health and safety, that went out the window. Oh, good shout, yeah, so the car would have been crumpled. The car would have been crumpled and the guys would have got out and just gone, nah, it's just a scratch. That's true. It's just a flesh wound. You shot me, it's just a flesh wound. Also, oh! Come on. Turn around. Go. Right, that's not bad. Please don't lose them. Nice. Okay, I've not lost them. I don't think. No, I haven't. Okay, we've lost one car, and now we get two more. Like I said, 90% of this run, of this mission, is literally those police following you. Up until you get to the rooftops, they can't jump over roofs. You can, though, because you're in a Mini Cooper. And the funny thing is, you'd expect a car that's filled with gold that weighs tons in the back of it to stop going 105 miles an hour or 100 miles an hour. Not this game. Physics just went out the window. So this is something that's really hard to nail. I think if I slow it down enough, it should be okay. That went as smooth as it could have gone, actually. That's really, really good. That was nice. So usually on the rooftop, your car goes a bit funny with the steering, because obviously you keep jumping and stuff like that, and keeping it going is very hard. So that went relatively smoothly. And now we get to drive on the way for 5 seconds. One time you get to see it in the game. You get a nice little cutscene playing. I need to line this up too. So we have another cop waiting at this side, and if I just drive around him, he should be okay. You can actually get something called nicked, which is just basically busted. So I think if anyone's played games like Grand Theft Auto, ironically this game was made by Rockstar Games in the North American version, but in PAL it's literally just Paramount and SCI Games. But for the most part, like I said, the game's relatively easy. For the most part, you have 2 difficulties, but the thing is, the game uses a cheap tactic, I find. So I might have to use this actually. Hang on. This might be bad. Actually, he's hit a wall. Hang on, I can do this. I can still pull this off. This is clutch. I'm not nicked. Oh, that's clutch. That is super clutch. So ideally, what happens? That nearly got showed off the busted feature that they have. As I hit that, come on. Still, I'm not finished yet. Come on. Just got 2 more grills to go. 1 more. Right. Okay, that was proper clutch. So what I was saying as we play the cutscene for the last bit of the mission. So for this game, like I said, Grand Theft Auto uses the busted mechanic or wasted. So obviously you get busted by police if they punch you and whatever. They punch you, they put the gun towards you, you're busted. This game has something similar, except rather than whacking you in the face and busting you on the spot, they have something called you're nicked. So nicked mean you bust. It's the same thing, it's just a British slang. So saying to somebody, you're nicked, you're basically busted. And in this one, what they've got to do is they've got to read your full registration plate, which is 3 letters and 4 numbers at the end. Some of the cars have different reg numbers, but once that fills up, the next trigger that they get can actually bust you, and that's the mission failed basically. So I got pretty clutch with that. The fact that I didn't get busted is a bloody miracle basically. But it nearly happened. This one, red, white and blue, relatively easy. I think we're going to get underestimated actually at this rate, because this mission takes literally about a minute to do. Because all you got to do is, as he said, we just have to close into a coach, dead easy. I think it can be done in about 50 seconds or so, I'm not sure. Just a little after 3 minutes on a timer. So you have to hold it, I think it's for 5 seconds. It's really difficult sometimes. No, come on. Don't be a bugger. Come on. He's doing this because I'm at a marathon. No, come on. Come on. Don't do this at home. Right, I'm getting too close. Jesus Christ, this is going to go bad. Last mission can go a lot worse, but... come on. 4, no, come on. 4, 3, 4... Wow. 2, 1. Yes. That's 1. 2 more to go. This is where it gets tricky now, because unfortunately William wants to be an idiot. So what he does, he starts swerving, so it gets even harder. And the last one, he starts he jolts in strange ways for some weird reason. Hang on a second. If I could catch up, come on. 5, no. Oh, I need to get close. Come on. You have to achieve a trigger, which is weird. Also, I can usually do this first try, Don't. Come on. I'm not. I'm getting too fast. Hang on. Come on. Just help me out here, please. Ugh. Shouldn't take that long. Right, as long as I'm at 105 getting into the last mission on the timer, we should be just under estimate. Just. Right, one more. This is where it's the hardest of the bunch. Watch this now, I get it first try. Been struggling for the other two, and now I get this one first try. Also, to make things harder, they also put him on as what they call. Ah, they put him on a turn as well. So as well as steering. Right, that's that mission done. That's a lot. Went so much harder. Usually it's not too hard. I think that might be a difference with the PAL version actually. Like the game slows down because every time I played this game for speedrunning, it's the American version, so the game runs smoother. So maybe that's why. Them extra 5 frames actually come in handy. Possibly. But like the PC version is really easy. It's instead of having 5 seconds to count down, it has 3. Right, okay. One last mission. So time will be when I go into the final cutscene of the game on this mission. So I don't know if you want to get ready on time, Paul. I don't know how long it's going to be though. This is the thing, I don't know. I mean, I've got less than, what, 5 minutes to do it?
I will wait. I will always wait.
I just don't want to go over estimate. The one thing I'm happy about, but I'm pretty tough on myself that I screwed it up, is the getaway. I'm glad I pulled that off. Because that could have gone so much more... What's the word? Disastrous? I think, because if I got right at the end and they busted me, it's like another 5 or 6 minutes to do it all again. Which, thankfully, according to the timer, is not a thing. 5 miles, it seems to take forever because you drive a coach. There's also a cutscene for this as well, that's included. So there's actually 2 cutscenes for this, Paul, just so you've got a heads up. The first one is the one where we don't skip, that's included in the time, and the second one is the one where... That, by the way, that actually, believe it or not, that is the only car in the game what, if you hit, gives you a speed boost. That red car, out of all cars, and we've been wrecking them for half of this run. Also, every car literally just disappears into the trees that you hit, which is nice. Like I said, it just goes without consequence. It's like, move, get out of the way. I'm in a coach, get out of the way. Although Big William's going, oh boy. So, he likes doing what he does. I'm a tractor driver. Don't fall off. You can actually fall off the cliff, and I've actually been known to do it. There we go. So the mafia tries blocking your way. It's like, well, that's not going to stop you because you're in a bus. Correct. We're just going to ram them. And the thing is, you don't have to be that close to them. You can just drive a bit like towards them. The game automatically just flies. The car's like, whee! Off it goes. Whee! And then that's it. It's literally that easy. So there's that little mini cutscene, I can call it. For the next part of the game, this is where it gets a bit tricky because what we've got to do now is avoid boulders falling from the cliffs, which I don't remember which order they're in. I think there's one from the right here. There we go. So they start dropping boulders on you because they think it's funny. Like a 5-year-old, you know, like, oh yeah, it's funny, yeah. So the one thing I do here is rather than go around that thing, you just go, over we go, airtime for a bus. And that also activates that as well. So this is the first little cutscene. This probably will take a minute. I think we would probably get underestimate here. Yeah, I don't know how long this cutscene's going to take. So we get these are the lads that I was telling you about before that are in the English van, or I think it's the VW in the film. T2 camper, I think it is. There we go. Right, so we've got literally a minute to get to the border. Now, originally the game wants you to go all the way down, but we just go, nah, it's fine. Just drive out the countryside in the fucking coach. Because it can. Just because it can. So, originally the game wants you to drive all the way down, and go all the way around. This is actually a bit of a pain as well with these boulders because they can easily get in your way, so I'm just going to take it cautious. They can cause quite a bit of damage and cause you to be... As William doesn't seem to care, does he? Oh, 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 oh. Time! 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 That was an interesting ending. I didn't expect that to happen. I was like, yeah, this will be fine. No sweat. Next thing, I'm going off a cliff. But I bet Big William's like, whoa, this is fun. Oh boy.
Literally.
There we go. And then, in all its 240p goodness, the ending of the Italian Job. Because those are a thing in games, right? And then this is actually the movie ending, but don't worry, this is the game's version of the movie ending.
This is a movie ending?
The literal, what they call a cliffhanger. What they call a cliffhanger. This is literally a cliffhanger ending. You never find out what happens. It gets stuck on the edge of a cliff. So what they're doing at this point is the gold is in the end of the coach, and they're trying to get it back. So what they're doing is Charlie's trying to get the gold, and he's like, move to the back of the bus, try and balance me out. So he keeps moving, he gets close, and then gold eventually slides to the bottom of the bus. She's like, hang on a minute, lads, I got a great idea. And then this happens. It just stays like that, and the camera zooms out. It's just funny. And then obviously you get the traditional Italian Job theme. But yeah, that was the Italian Job, PlayStation 1. There is other categories for this game, but not many people attempted them, and the 100% is any percent, so the story, the checkpoint, the destructor modes, which I think is 20 of each, and the challenge, which I believe there's 12 trials, or 10 trials I think, and that's pretty difficult, but yeah, that's it. Well done.
So that was the BPG13 with the Italian Job, and we're now going to hand over to Dragpack for an interview.
So you sat there on there, is that right?
What?
Is that how it works? You're sat there asking me the questions.
You can also ask me. You can also ask me the questions.
Oh yeah, now you just sit in my head. Oh, there you go.
Hang on.
You just, like I say, you just see my head at the bottom just plopping all over.
Could you run me with the camera back in?
Alright, so you guys are gonna have to scooch together.
That's alright, I can move over. Indy's pretty much in charge.
If you say sit on the edge here,
Are you sure? I mean, I can sit up. I'm not sitting
try it.
on the end. You sure? I'm probably gonna be a bit close to the camera here. Alright, okay.
Okay.
Mike's live.
All right. Thank you very much for that Italian, not so Italian run. So
yeah, it's not very Italian.
you know, have to tell me why is it called the Italian Job, but with a British flag?
Right, so the meaning behind it, like I said, the British flag is because it's purely a British film. So that's the reason for the UK flag. The Italian Job is mainly because, I know these are going to sound like really simple answers, but the Italian Job, like I said, it's based in Italy. It's basically about a gang of, should we say, criminals, so to speak. So we've got a guy called Charlie Croker, who we briefly met in the game. He gets out of prison, and he employs a load of drivers and a load of people, and they pull off a job. Now, right at the start of the film, which is it's shown in a cutscene in the game, but just to give it a bit of a quick clear up on it, a quick version of it. So Charlie Croker's friend, I think he's called Roger Venezia or something like that. He gets killed in a car accident. Turns out the mafia are behind it because apparently he's been trying to set up a deal and things like that. And after his death, he has a video sent to his wife, which is shown to Charlie. Obviously, saying, "If you're watching this, I must be dead." And in that case, one thing that he mentions is he had a plan before he died, which was to steal $4 million of gold from underneath the noses of the mafia. And the main film is about pulling off said heist. And for the most part, it's all about, I think for probably about half an hour of the film, it's about getting everyone together, getting the cars spray painted the right colour, and getting everything done dusted. And then for the most part, the secondary part of the film is actually pulling the heist off, escaping from the police. Everything that's in the game is pretty much what happens. Granted, there are a couple of missions in the game that are not based off the film, like keeping up, following out Dave, I think it's called. That's not in the film. But the Italian Job is basically a group of UK guys that are, UK criminals that are pulling off a heist on behalf of Charlie Croker's dead friend, and most of it is all done in Turin, I think it is, that's in Italy. Hence the reason the Italian Job. It's a really good film, I'd say, and anyone that's not watched it, including yourself, would be very advised on watching it.
I mean,
It is an old
I
film.
might watch it now. I have a reason so I can understand the game. What do you think is better, the game or the film?
Hard to pick. If I had to pick one of them, though, I'd definitely go with the film. Not because of the fact that I'm more of a fan of playing a game than I am watching a film, but because for me personally, the film's soundtrack stands out better, and also obviously with it being a film, the picture quality is much better. You can see pretty much everything. But for the most part, the film is more better because it gives more context. So it's pretty decent, I'd say, in that regard. I'd probably go for the film easily.
Okay, is this also a reason why you said I wanna pick this game as a speedrun? Or what was
a
the actual
case
reason
of-
behind it?
So the reason for picking this game for this marathon was because obviously I entered 5 different games in, and this was one that got in. Now, obviously, out of the games that I did submit, fair to say 3 of them got turned down because we already had 2 of them from last time, or 2 of the series from last time, which is fair enough. But the reason for entering this one was because I thought, well, it might be same as, alright, it's a driving game, you go from A to B and things like that. But then you've got the police that's in there, you've got traffic that can spawn in and be
A little bit
different
more
locations.
GTA-like.
Yeah, that sort of stuff, but obviously there's none of that getting out of the car, killing certain people or anything like that. It's all driving based. There's another thing as well, which is unlike my other submissions, I think Driver 2 will probably come relatively close to that as well, because that involves driving and also on-foot action as well. Obviously, like I said, this one mainly involves driving, but I think it's a bit of a different mixture compared to just seeing a normal racing game. So with Gran Turismo, you've got your circuit racing and stuff like that. Your rally racing, Cormac Rally, you've got your rally racing. But with this, it's more, because it's based off a film, it tends to work better as a game. Whereas something like Gran Turismo is not based off a film or anything like that. I know that games and films don't usually go hand in hand, from what I've heard, but in this case, I think this game goes hand in hand with the film perfectly. As I mentioned on my run as well, and I'll keep this short, with the other film that was made, so there was the 2003 version of the Italian Job, which had more modern actors, more modern Mini Coopers, same plot. However, it wasn't based in Italy; it was all done in the US. So it kind of took that emphasis on, alright, it's a classic film; it's just being remade. It was basically Americanized, if I can call it that, because it was all based in the States. And the game that was based off it wasn't that good, and the missions aren't that good. So I mean, they were all kind of, in a way, that game has its problems. Mainly, it's a bit glitchy. The AI is ridiculous with its routes, and you don't know what it's going to do. And chances are there's no way you can link a good run together. Whereas with this, even though you can link a good run together, it all depends on, like I said, traffic and police, but chances are you can finish your run 99% of the time. Like I said, I got pretty lucky with the getaway. If I didn't, then that would have definitely been overestimate. But thank the stars, pray RNG.
Yeah.
I got
God save the frames.
yes.
One last question. I mean, you already gave us one highlight of the marathon by living on the edge before showing us a cliffhanger. What will you show us next time? Or what is the plan?
I've not a clue. It will be racing based because it's me. Because it's me and I'm into cars and stuff like that, and the speedruns that I've done are of racing games. Chances are it will be a racing game. I won't go for the one that I've done last time though, not because of anything that I did or said, but in truth, truth must be told, my submission next time might be something like Driver.
Okay.
Or Driver 2, because that's a different driving series and it's got its own story and things like that. Personally, I think those games work quite well. Driver 2 might be my next submission, or Driver 1.
Maybe you can cooperate with Mike, because I think there's
Or
a Crash
Driver-
Bandicoot
Or Driver
racing game.
Parallels. Oh yeah.
He's smiling, so that
I didn't
okay.
think of that.
So
That's always a shout.
I already brought
could
two
happen.
people together, and speaking about Mike, he will do Colin McRae
Yes!
something next.
Woo! I'm happy already.
So yeah, thank you very much for the interview,
No worries.
and
thanks
yeah,
for that. Awesome. I'm pretty happy.
we're
with
gonna
that
see
one.
you later.